Be the Bridge, Be the Bridge. You are listening to the Be the Bridge podcast with Latasha Morrison.
How you guys doing today? It's exciting.
Each week, Be the Bridge podcast tackles subjects related to race and culture with the goal of bringing understanding.
But I'm going to do it in the spirit of love. And so
We believe understanding can move us toward racial healing, racial equity, and racial unity. Latasha Morrison is the founder of Be the Bridge, which is an organization responding to racial brokenness and systemic injustice in our world. This podcast is an extension of our vision to make sure people are no longer conditioned by a racialized society, but grounded in truth. If you have not hit the subscribe button, please do so now. Without further ado, let's begin today's podcast. Oh, and stick around for some important information at the end.
The lovely, the amazing Kim Fields.
Absolutely.
Back with a dear friend, Kim Fields, everyone.
Kim Fields.
Please welcome executive producer, director, actress, writer, and my bestie, Kim Fields.
That last voice was one of my favorites, Tamron Hall. And guess what, Tamron? Today's guest happens to also be one of my besties, too. That's right. Today's guest is none other than the gifted and talented writer, actor, director, producer, and CEO of the coffee brand Signature Blends by KF, Kim Fields. Kim Fields. I could go on and on, but I know you're here for the conversation between my two sisters, Latasha and Kim. I am Tandria Potts, and once again, I am honored to be the guest host guiding you through today's podcast. If you are like me, you have tracked with Kim Fields' career since...
Mrs. Butterworth?
Yes?
How come you taste so good?
Well, my syrup is very thick and rich.
Thick and rich?
Just watch. See how
And
the
if you're a
leaves
bit
are?
younger and don't know, that was the commercial that introduced the world to Kim. Let's start here with Latasha and Kim's conversation.
You've had an incredible career. I was just thinking about that, like how you have blazed a trail for so many people behind you. Like, I mean, the fact that you're still in this, because so many people, they come and go, or you don't see them. And, you know, you starting out in this as a child, like what, I mean, what has sustained you in this work and now to be on the other side of the camera?
Well, I mean, you know, first of all, I'm so blessed. I'm so grateful to God for the blessing, you know, of longevity, of I still have the fire in my belly for my industry. I still love what I do. And, you know, over the decades that I've been in the industry, there's so many amazing facets that have become available, that are now there to explore. Technology has blown the doors off of the industry from an accessible standpoint, not just the creative in terms of what you can do, but where you can put it. So that's all still very exciting to me. And then just, you know, when you boil it down just as an actor, even though I've been blessed to be in the game for such a long time, there's still so many characters I have yet to play that I want to, so many genres, you know, that I want to get into. So I don't feel like I've done everything. I still feel like there's a lot of uncharted waters for me to explore on either side of the camera.
Some people put up a single strand of lights around their home and may not ever take them down, while others go shopping for new Christmas tree ornaments year-round. Well, if you're like Latasha and Kim, you fall under the category of Christmas enthusiast. If you don't believe me about Latasha, check out her upcoming Instagram post. As for Kim, she took it a step further. She executive produced and starred in her own soon-to-be classic Christmas love story, You Light Up My Christmas. Here's a clip.
And as he would string said lights around the tree, he would begin to tell me the famous story of how his grandfather got sick as a little boy. And his dad, my great-grandfather, Roy, would dip light bulbs in red and green paint. And he would hang those light bulbs in the tree outside of his window.
I wanted to talk to you a little bit about a movie that you did on Netflix, because this is my Christmas special, and I hear that you love Christmas. I get a peek in. I'm looking. I see a lot of Christmas in the background.
Yes.
I see trees and reefs in the background.
Yeah.
Is that why you did the Christmas movie, or do you get ideas about Christmas movies? You did one on Lifetime called "You Light Up My Christmas."
Yes. So last holiday season, we did the movie "You Light Up My Christmas," and that was just an incredible experience and a movie that I just love. I was able to serve as executive producer as well as star in the movie, and it was just such a great experience. And the messages that were a part of that movie, in terms of family legacy, in terms of the parallel, between Christmas lights, because my family in the movie owned a Christmas light factory, and using that as an analogy or a parallel with everyone's own inner light. And, how when you put your light together with others, it makes your brilliance even brighter. And sometimes, life occurs and it feels like your light is dimming. And good God in heaven knows this year has been quite the dimmer switch. And at the same time, still finding ways to just, your light's not extinguished, if you're still here. And so, and even for those that have gone on, and there's been so much sadness, and especially this year, finding, even in the midst of your sadness and your grief and your anger and your disappointment, finding those breaths of honoring their life, honoring their spirit, knowing their spirit is still here, and how you continue it. How does their spirit come out in you and your life and your light, that their spirit helps your light shine, and I know that sometimes it's all nice to hear, but when you're in the trenches, it's harder, of course. But I think that Christmas movies, and I even wrote a little article about this, that, even in the midst of all that we've been through this year, socially, and injustice and injustice and anger and pandemic and health and everything else, there's still going to be, and clearly is, a need for Christmas movies. And so, even before all of this happened, we had You Light Up My Christmas last year on Lifetime. The season before that, I did a Christmas movie called Wrapped Up in Christmas for Lifetime. And so this year, because of my Netflix schedule for the Upshaws, and, when the pandemic hit, it pushed production back a lot for everyone. I was not able to go into production for a movie for this year, but I am going into production this winter for a really amazing Christmas movie.
I'm getting excited.
Christmas love stories are nothing new, from It's a Wonderful Life, starring Jimmy Stewart, to Serendipity, starring John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale. Most would put these films and others like it on their holiday watch list. But take another look at that list. How many movies on that list come from a cultural or ethnic perspective? Well, it's that level of intention that compelled Kim to create Christmas content. Listen.
You see, I was watching Christmas movies when they first came out on Hallmark in 2009, because I was going through a rough time. I had just left a position, and it was just, I was really trying to find myself, and I was just, it just brought joy, just to watch a movie that was about hope, and it was about joy and peace and togetherness, and not a whole bunch of drama. I just needed that, and I think it's become a tradition for me now, to record all these. And I'm going to confess, Kim, I record these movies and I watch them throughout the year.
Of course you do. Of course you do. You better. Absolutely.
And what I loved about your movie, first of all, is, you were the executive producer, but also seeing Black leads. And so I'm seeing more of that happening this year. But when I first started watching, I was like, okay, do they not think we don't celebrate Christmas?
Right.
So has that been some of the motivating passion behind you really getting pursuing diversity in some of the films that you're working with, and doing some of this crossover inclusion I'm seeing. Is that some of your passion?
It is, telling a great story is first and foremost my passion, and then working with amazing actors and artisans and directors and writers who are really going to bring the thunder and the skill set. That's my next, issue to make sure that we check that box. I think on the heels of that then becomes inclusion, whether it's race, whether it's culture, gender, because that to me is more of a snapshot of what everyone's reality is right now. I don't think it's very rare, I would think, to find an environment that's all anything. right now.
Right.
And so I feel like, and the wider you cast that net with inclusion, I mean, from a business standpoint, the more people you get to watch it because they feel like, oh, I see me. But also to me, it just makes your stories have far more, wonderful and beautiful layers in the storytelling and even visually seeing, a lot of different looking people. But I for like you, just loving Christmas movies, and I used to do, one of my heroes was Dick Clark, and so I remember his, Christmas specials, and just growing up on those as well. And so back in 2010, I actually launched a brand of holiday specials called Holiday Love. And it was scripted with music, and you saw all of your favorite celebrities, especially your like faith-based celebrities, in storylines and things that you normally wouldn't see them in. And I also love I Love Lucy. I still do. In my office, I have a huge photograph of Lucy and Desi from an Apple campaign that says "Think Different." And so they're definitely content heroes of mine and trailblazers. And I used to love the episodes when Lucy and when they were all in Hollywood, and she kept meeting her favorite stars. And, just kind of all of of course, the mayhem, the mischief, the wackiness and all that would ensue. But what was so great to me was these were friends of hers, obviously. She and Bob Hope had worked together for years. They'd been friends. She and William Holden, John Wayne, all of these different, the Marx Brothers. And yet she was, pretended to be so starstruck. But it was great to see the celebrities in a different way. Here's John Wayne, who you would see in all these movies as this, larger than life cowboy-esque kind of entity. And on his episode of I Love Lucy, he was just really funny. William Holden was this suave leading man. And then on his episode of I Love Lucy, it was so funny when she set her fake nose on fire in front of him. And so I said, well, what if we use some of my famous friends and we put them in elements where they can, kind of be themselves, but it's in ways that you wouldn't normally see them. And so we did Holiday Love for a few years. And the concept overall was how we feel during the holidays. There's this, it just seems like there's, even when it's rough and tough, if you're angry, if you broke, if you sad, if you whatever, you still find a way to tap into a little cheer and a little joy, and you're not, and there's still some degree of kindness. There's a softening that we all lean into. And I felt like, what if we could have that kind of feeling 365?
Yeah.
And so the idea of holiday love being something that was, how do we get to a place where we have that kind of feeling all year round?
Yeah. I love how, what you've incorporated is, doing love stories with, with Black lead characters. I think that's something that's needed, for people to see themselves too.
Yes. Now that was definitely intentional, and for all of my talk about inclusion and, that not being my first point of entry, like with casting or staffing. Certainly seeing people of color in love stories is very important to me. And to see love and just how it's not that we fall in love so differently. It's just that you hardly see it. And so you feel sometimes people think that that's not a part of our narrative. And then this one is what really got me. Here I am playing the it girl in the last movie I did, at technically 50 years old.
Right.
And playing, the girl I'm the leading lady.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm the leading,
Yeah.
And that just felt so great, and to have all the feels, as they say, where it was to have that moment of someone making you blush. Of someone, revisiting some memories that make you feel warm and fuzzy.
Right.
That concept of being wanted and desired and loved on that level, and being the it girl. So, it really just, it felt great, quite honestly, and to know that that's a trajectory that I'm still on, quite honestly. It feels really great. And to know that there's a bit of representation, if you will, in that way as well.
Yeah.
Now I told you, Latasha and Kim are Christmas enthusiasts. So let's be a fly on the wall and hear them share Christmas movie favorites.
What are some of your favorite Christmas movies that are out there? I know you're going to make some that are going to be a favorite.
Yes.
But what are some ones that are out there now that you're like, I just have to watch this every year?
Yeah. Honestly, my movie, and like you said, I know yours, Kim, but but I truly do. I'm such a fan of our movie, You Light Up My Christmas. But other than that, I love Polar Express.
Okay.
I love the memories that my mother has created with my kids around that movie. So that's a favorite of mine. I enjoy, of course, The Christmas Story, you know. And then some of the classics. I'm really, I love vintage content and classics.
Okay.
So my mother and I will always call each other and be like, Connecticut and Christmas in Connecticut is on.
Okay.
Christmas in Connecticut is on.
Oh, I love it.
So, because we're huge Barbara Stanwyck fans. And I'm trying to think. I love the artistry of The Grinch Who Stole Christmas that Jim Carrey did, that Ron Howard directed. I just think that was such art.
It was beautiful. Yes, it was.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The production design, that was crazy.
Yeah.
But those are, I think those are
the ones that come
my
to mind.
favorites. Those are my immediate go-tos. Quincy, our youngest boy, who just turned 7 last week, he loves Home Alone. He discovered that last Christmas, and so he gets a kick.
I got an opportunity to watch even Jingle Jangle.
Let's stick a pin right there at Jingle Jangle and come back to that a bit later. Okay, let's continue.
This year, and I think that's gonna be a new favorite.
A new
for
favorite,
me.
Sure.
Yeah, it had that artistry, that whole whimsical type artistry. I love that. Yeah.
Yes. Every time I have gone to turn it on, because of course we know David Talbert since forever. Yeah. My mom is one of his mentors, as he always says, but also Anika Noni Rose is a good friend.
I love her.
Anything that Ricky Martin does, I am right there front and center. I can't even front. Listen.
He was.
Listen.
He
don't
was
say
so
it.
good.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Okay, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you.
When I tell you this pre-production and prepping for this new series has taken up everything, because we're working, doing what we do in a whole new environment now.
Right.
But it's like I feel like I'm working 20-hour days, and every time I go to start it, you got a Zoom rehearsal. You got this.
Man.
So I am going to get to it this season and devour it. So I already know that's going to be on my list of new favorites. Yeah.
Wow, this is such an incredible conversation. Hey, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back.
The Next Right Thing podcast, a podcast about making decisions that are making our lives. Emily P. Freeman, Wall Street Journal bestselling author, podcast host, and curious listener, dedicated to helping you create space for your soul to breathe so that you can discern your next right thing in love. Decision fatigue is a real thing. Adults make over 35,000 decisions every day. Many are second nature. Emily is here for the ones that aren't. She's made it her job to put into words the thoughts you don't have time to think. If you're feeling stuck over a certain decision right now, unsure what to do next, and frustrated by your lack of clarity, check out the Next Right Thing podcast. New episodes are released every Tuesday. Annie and Eddie Keep Talking podcast. Friends and podcasters Annie F. Downs and Ed Kaffoltz host a 30-ish minute show promising laughs, random topic deep dives, and rabbit trails. All the things you've come to expect when Annie and Eddie keep talking. Birthed from the weird, unprecedented, trying times being sheltered in place during COVID-19 and the need to stay connected. New episodes are released every Tuesday and Friday.
Thanks for staying with us. Let's pick up Latasha's conversation with today's guests.
Okay, let's be real. Christmas meals are usually a Thanksgiving sequel, which is a lot of work. Let's see how Kim is tackling it this year.
What are your COVID Christmas plans,
Well, first let me be clear. I like to support other people's gifts and talents. So
okay.
So that's code for I'm not cooking things. But honestly, Chris has always been the chef in the family, and so he always does all the cooking. And so, we wanted to give him Thanksgiving off. So we had a wonderful takeout from Cracker Barrel for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So this year, we might really do a little something. I had a brief vision that I was going to help out and maybe make some sides. But again, I think brief is the operative word. And it's not that I can't cook. I don't enjoy cleaning up. No, I enjoy cooking and I enjoy serving others. But that cleanup, I can't believe we in 2020 and nobody thought about some disposable pots and pans and what?
You see, this is two things. The cook don't clean. The cook is not supposed to clean. And then the other thing is you clean as you go. So if I clean as I go, it's hard.
Listen, my brother, the celebrity chef Pat Neely, he tried to teach me that clean as you go. And I was like, yeah, okay. We have a friend who's a local, oh my gosh. But I do, enjoy it. But I know Chris really enjoys it, and he's so good at it. His grandmother's mac and cheese recipe has, kept this family intact for decades at this point, a decade and a half. And even with the decorating, we have an annual tradition where we always go to our Christmas tree lot here in Georgia. We've done it every year for 10 years now, and we've never missed a year. No matter what. So we'll do that. But also, a friend of mine, I didn't realize that she and her brother-in-law have a home holiday decor business. And she was like, sis, why don't you let me hook you up? And I was like, I don't know. We usually do some stuff. And then we just moved into this house and couldn't find anything. And I was like, you know what? Come on over. Let me support you. I'll get on Instagram and talk about how great you are. Sure.
Oh my goodness.
So they're here now. You can probably see somebody walking back and forth.
I see.
But that's the trees that you see and all the holiday touches that have been added to the home. And I certainly, again, I like to support other people's gifts and talents.
Right. That's what you do. That's right. You are keeping.
Now, I'm a person that loves a great cup of coffee. Well, some of the best coffee and tea you can have this holiday season comes from Kim's own coffee line. I admit I'm a little biased, but that's okay. Let her tell you about it.
I have a line of coffee, Signature Blends by KF. And so for our holiday collection, we did Holiday Responsibly as our theme for this year. And so our commercials, we show people social distancing with face shields, masks, hand sanitizing while they're still, having some family time. We also show them FaceTiming and Zooming, you know, through the holidays, that sort of thing. So we realized that this is such a different time.
Yeah.
And even with our featured collection, which is a very high-end, sexy, sophisticated line for us within our holiday collection called Signature Spirits.
Okay.
Same kind of thing with the commercials. So we did like this masquerade party look, which also included masks. So that your face covering was there, your nose and your mouth, but then we incorporated like the masquerade look as well, just to encourage people to, not, get stuck on this is so whack, I can't believe we're still here.
Yeah.
But, finding those moments where you can maybe make the best out of it, when life gives you lemons kind of thing.
Yeah, because we could be gone,
Yeah, listen, exactly. Yeah. So I was excited when I saw how those campaigns came about, and I was excited with how people responded to the commercials, to be able to feel like, okay, as much as we love our nucleus, the four of us, we can still stay connected to your family. I know so many people, they made it through Thanksgiving, but some people are like, oh my God, I can't believe I only cooked for 4 people. I'm used to cooking for 30 and 25 and, and those sorts of things. And just, be able to make those adjustments in real time and just pat yourself on the back, celebrate that, put a little stocking stuffer together for you.
Yeah.
To be able to, stuff your stocking with something nice. To
I
be
am
able to
all
pivot.
for that. I am all for that.
Some of you are at a place where you want to pursue at least one of the endeavors that Kim has tackled and mastered. Latasha asked this great next question, and Kim's answer lays across any pursuit. Listen.
What's been just a valuable lesson that maybe someone that's up and coming that they could learn from you?
I think if anything, we kind of touched on it with what we were just talking about, being able to pivot and make adjustments in real time.
That's good.
And that's been a big one for me. I'm also on this, what I've been calling my refresh-olution. And being able to really refresh my mind, body, and spirit.
Refresh-olution, okay.
And having my own kind of personal revolution. In a very refreshing way. So that was the kind of hybrid for the refresh-olution. And so I feel like when you understand things like whatever balance means to you doesn't necessarily mean 50-50. Sometimes you might give 20% here and 80% here. Sometimes it's 1% here and 99% over here. And it's a juggling act, Sometimes people feel like their life is a 3-ring circus and they are the greatest showman, that they are, the ringmaster.
Okay.
And that, if all the balls do fall in the middle of your juggling act, it's okay. You do have to take a breath and breathe in order to pick them back up, but you can pick them back up. You are able to, give yourself permission to let other people help you pick those balls up and start juggling again.
Yeah, that's good.
My beloved brother Blair Underwood said to me once years ago, don't be a blessing blocker. Don't block someone else's blessing because you're trying to do everything yourself all the time. You've got people in your village, a part of your team, anything, and they are there waiting, to be given either something to do or to be able to bless you. And so, when we understand that and we're able to say, you know what, I could use some help. Having needs doesn't make me weak.
That's good.
And when you are strong enough to let someone know, I do need some help here. I could use some help here. Then you've created the opportunity for them to be a blessing, as opposed to you trying to do it all, and then you've blocked their blessing.
Wow, that was so good. We love Kim, and having her on the podcast has been such a blessing. Be on the lookout for her new show, The Upshaws, which will be on Netflix in 2021, and you can also stream Lifetime's You Light Up My Christmas. In sports, if you're on the same team, of course you're called teammates. So, what should we call writers under the same publisher? Bookmates? Well, one of Latasha's bookmates at Penguin Random House is none other than Lyn Sisson-Talbert. Remember when I said, let's stick a pin right there at Jingle Jangle and come back to that a bit later? Well, guess who wrote the book series Jingle Jangle? You guessed it, Lyn Sisson-Talbert. Lyn's husband happens to be acclaimed playwright, film director, and producer, David E. Talbert. And this power couple brought Lyn's book, Jingle Jangle, A Christmas Story, to Netflix. So let's pick up Latasha's conversation about the literary side of the Jingle Jangle franchise.
And so I know the books are going to go along with this. So tell me a little bit about the books that you've written, the name of them, and kind of like, because the first thing I saw when I saw the movie, I was like, oh, this is a continuation. Like this, we can tell a whole bunch of stories through this, Yeah. It's just, this is Jingle Jangle, but we can have, another one,
Absolutely. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
So the first one is The Square Root of Possible, and that's a picture book, short, sweet story based on the song that Journey sings in the film, The Square Root of Possible. And I also put the lyrics to the song in the back of the book so that the kids can sing along if they want. And it's a illustrated book that's just a short little tale about how Journey gets Geronicus to find his square root of possible again. And the second book is a middle grade book for 10 and up. It's Jingle Jangle, The Invention of Geronicus Jangle. And it kind of delves more into the story of Jingle Jangle a bit. And that one actually had a full circle moment with Felicia Rashad recorded the audio book of that one.
If you think it's tough getting romantic Christmas movies on screen with black leads, imagine how tough it is getting fantasy fiction Christmas movies with black leads to even be considered. Let's pick up Latasha and Lyn's conversation here.
So many industries, especially the movie industry, the entertainment industry, why are they so slow to move and think that, like, okay, if it's that diversity is great for the bottom line, number one. Why do you think it's so hard for them to get that? And why do you think it's so hard for them to take an opportunity when we've seen the fruit when there's a black leading character? Why do you think it's so hard for them?
I think it's an old way of thinking, to be honest. It's an old regime, and it's time to come into the new. It's time to look at how the world really looks. We are very powerful in our buying dollars, and we have to just become as powerful in our content creating, and not only content creating, but distributing as well. So the good thing is Netflix has the algorithms to show, because they are global. They are worldwide. I was watching African romantic comedies back in the day, on Netflix, because there weren't as many diverse shows available. And so even that, to have that to see, it helps, show, oh, these shows are popular. These shows want to be seen. And they keep seeing that the ratings are going up as far as how many hits and clicks on it. So this film is more than even just being entertaining and amazing and musical and great to watch. It is going to open doors for other projects like this. Because it's worldwide. It's released in 132 countries. It's been translated in 32 languages. Like, I watched it in Mandarin the other day. Crazy. So
I love it.
We all are striving for a lot of the same things. We want the same things for our children. We want the same opportunities. And with these themes, we want to feel the same way. You know? So I feel like projects like this remind us of how much more we are alike than we are different. And hopefully it will, no pun intended, build a bridge,
Yes. I love it.
More of this.
This is such a great question Latasha asks here. Listen.
Watching the movie or the child that will read your book, what do you want them to see and to gain from just the work that you and your husband are doing to kind of build a bridge, a longer bridge, a wider bridge that is more inclusive, and a more equitable bridge? Like, what do you want that child to kind of to leave with, after they finish watching or reading what you and your husband have put together?
I want them to see that anything is possible. I want them to believe, believe in magic and be able to grow without having, so much baggage placed on them before they even get a chance. That's really what it is. Just to to have a freedom to be creative and a freedom to do and be what you want to without so many layers placed in front of you. And I feel like this is, we didn't know that all of this was going to happen when we were making this film, but I realized it was perfect timing because it was a time where we needed some joy and some and some love and light in the world. So I want people to feel that, not only children, but adults too. And the child in all of us that may have missed out on some of that when we were growing up. So it's and also just wanting to work hard and do things at an excellent level.
Our reoccurring theme has been that Latasha is a Christmas enthusiast. But one can't be an enthusiast without paying attention to the details.
I always pay attention to set design, costumes, just all of those things. I was like, wow, this is amazing, as it relates to a Christmas movie. And I can even see this translated, definitely on stage also. Yeah, I think that's incredible. I think, one of the things, it's not just what kids will leave with. Just for me watching it, there was this sense of hope. And one of the things that I got from it is that you can have things that knock you down. We're all going to have circumstances, people, situations that knock us down that will snuff the life out of us almost. But the will to continue to believe in the impossible, sometimes we have to fight for it. And you can see him having to struggle and fight for it. And he had to have his granddaughter kind of come alongside that was kind of able to break that shell. And so for me, I think it was so encouraging to adults, I don't want to say more so than children, but all the adults that I'm talking to that seen it, they were so encouraged and inspired by it. So is that something that you guys were aiming to actually hook adults into the storyline and to the meaning of what it means to believe in the impossible?
Yes, we did. Because we feel like some of the best films are films that not only speak to children, but speak to adults as well. And I think that if we even look at some of our favorite films as children, for me, it was Annie, it was Mary Poppins.
Yes.
Watching it as an adult is different because I'm like, oh, I didn't notice that, or I didn't see that. And watching it as a kid is another way. And that's why I love even Pixar films. There's so many layers of adult content in there at the same time speaking to children. So I think that that's really important. And David's great at that with storytelling, where there's two layers of the storytelling. And there'll be things that you can speak to your children about, like how we have many firsts listed on the buildings. Like I said, my father's name is one of the buildings. We have this law based on John Lewis is one of the buildings. Edison Latimer. Latimer was the one who really invented the filament in lights for.
There's a
lot of things that are layered in there that Easter eggs, as we say, that you'll find, that you'll be able to talk about, and it's details like that to me that make something long lasting.
Often, what makes a power couple in entertainment is their ability to execute a project as a unit, with each person focusing on their strengths. Listen to this.
What is that process like where, he wrote and directed, the film, but here you are, making the literary, the books, writing books. Have you guys always worked in that kind of conjunction?
Yes, we have. So I produced the film and he wrote and directed it. And that's kind of been our thing. I'm really keen on aesthetics. The costume design, the wardrobe design, what you see is really my forte. I'm like, creatively, certain things with layering, with casting, we just are good in balancing each other creatively. And so we've been doing that for 22 years now. And I think it's just, I didn't train to do this. I think it's just being a woman and coming into a situation, and just like how you walk into a household and you like, okay, this needs to be fixed up, this needs to be done. You just do it,
Right.
We're moms, we're, sisters and daughters, and we just do what we got to do. So I think it's just that type of intuitiveness that I kind of grew up with and was raised with. When you come into a situation, you should always make it better. So that's what I've done in it. I didn't know it, but that I was producing. And so that's part of my career.
Hopefully, we all want to see Christmas represented on screen by diverse ethnic and cultural backgrounds. Well, that only happens with each of us being proactive. How can we be proactive?
If you're watching this with your kids, watch it all the way through, give it that thumbs up on Netflix at the end. Tell your friends and family and make sure that they watch. Have your movie nights. See what diverse books are coming out. And thankfully, this is a great time where many of our stories are being pushed more. And so this is going to open the door to many other artists behind us, because they're going to see that the audience is showing that they love it, and there's room for it, and there's a place for it. So hopefully our goal is to open a door for other artists and creators to be able to do more like this, to break more new talent like Madeline Mills that played Journey, and Lisa Phillip, and Edison by Kieran Dyer, and so it's important that we break new talent, we do new stories, we do new things, and not just keep doing the same thing with the same people all the time. We have to mix it up, because everyone needs a chance. Everyone needs a chance. Everyone needs a chance.
That's right, Lynn. Everyone needs a chance. This holiday season, let's give some new movies with new leads and new perspectives a chance. I'd like to thank Latasha for allowing me to be your guest host today, and a special thanks to Kim Fields for her insight and wisdom. Don't forget to go to signatureblends.kf.com to get your holiday collection of amazing gourmet coffees and teas that Kim has personally curated for all of you holiday enthusiasts. And a special thanks to Lyn Sisson-Talbert for her conversation with Latasha. Jingle Jangle books can be found online and in stores, and Jingle Jangle the movie is on Netflix right now. So please watch it, rate it, and tell a friend to do the same. This is our last show of the year. So, Merry Christmas to all of you from the Be the Bridge family. And once again, let's remember to build bridges and not walls.
If you are a member of the Donors Table, you get access to today's unedited episode. Go check it out.
Thanks for listening to the Be the Bridge podcast. To find out more about the Be the Bridge organization and or to become a bridge builder in your community, go to BeTheBridge.com. Again, that's BeTheBridge.com. If you've enjoyed this podcast, remember to rate and review it on this platform and share it with as many people as you possibly can. You can also connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Today's show was edited, recorded, and produced by Trayvon Potts at Integrated Entertainment Studios in Metro Atlanta, Georgia. The host and executive producer is Latasha Morrison. Lauren C. Brown is the senior producer. Trayvon Potts was our transcriber. Please join us next time. This has been a Be the Bridge production. Be the Bridge, be the Bridge, be the Bridge.